I can click record. Carissa, is that good with you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just clicked record, so we are
Oh, okay.
recording.
Okay. Perfecto. Okay. All right. Hey guys, welcome to our convention sweepers call. Excited that tonight is a kickoff call and that we're going to be going over some strategies, because how many of us can are glad to glean from other people, right? I know that I'm so super thankful for our One Plexus culture, where people are so willing to share ideas that they have, things that are helping them. And so the idea behind tonight's call is to provide all of us with helpful tools and strategies and ideas for you guys to go implement in your own business. So I know one of the things that I think is common when we're at convention, we see all the exciting things happening, and then there's the top credit earners or the top prize winners from the convention contest get to go on stage and be recognized. And how many of us have thought, oh my word, we're sitting there and we're thinking, how in the world did those people do that? Like, I want to know what the scoop is, right? And so that's the idea behind tonight's call, is that we're going to be sharing strategies. It's not just one of us that's going to share, but there's going to be several people that are going to share things that they've done in the past contests to sweep prizes and what they're doing for this contest, because this one's structured a little bit different. But I know it's easy when there's those earners on the stage thinking that those people are lucky, but in reality, there was a ton of behind the scenes work that went into those people getting those goals, getting those prizes, right? And it takes a focused effort and massive action to make that happen. And so I was thinking about a couple of things today, and I was talking to my husband, Justin, and we were just chatting about success, and we're talking about this convention contest. And one of the things that I think is encouraging, and I just wanted to share with you all, is that success often doesn't come to the most talented or the smartest person necessarily. And I think that's encouraging, because I truly believe that success comes to those who are diligent and consistent, and those that put in massive action. Okay, so you'll probably be hearing a theme of massive action and really doing the thing. So I know maybe not everyone on this call is planning to sweep the top prize. Maybe that's not your goal. Maybe you have a different goal in mind. That's totally fine. But we're going to kind of be talking to runners, people that are really focused and driven and want to sweep contest prizes, right? Okay, so also, the other thing that I was thinking is that past success does not guarantee future success. And this is something I was thinking of, is that, last year, maybe you won the championship, maybe you won that marathon or that Tough Mudder or whatever you did, in your run or your race, or like in Plexus, maybe you hit that top prize goal, but that was last year, right? This is a new year. This is a new contest. And so I think it's great to celebrate what happened last year, but guess what? That doesn't guarantee anything for this contest. And so I think it keeps us humble, it keeps us creative, it keeps us asking questions, and it keeps us working hard. So there's all good things. And there is new. So, okay, I was thinking about this. There are probably two different types of people on this call. So you might be new, someone that's new, you have fresh excitement, you have maybe momentum on your side, right? And so you're running, you're signing people, you're super excited, your warm market is right there ready to jump on board with you. And then there's some of you that maybe have been in Plexus for a year or two or three or four or five or more, right? And so for some of us, we have to create that momentum and continue that excitement. I'm not going to say that, well, momentum is created by us, of course, but depending on where you're at in your journey, sometimes it takes some more creativity or some more forethought to really get that ball moving. Or if that momentum has slowed a little bit, action. I think what is encouraging about momentum is activity, especially personal activity, is the thing that gets that ball rolling. So, and there's also two types of momentum. There's personal momentum and there's team momentum. And really both momentums are required in order to sweep convention prizes. And this contest actually rewards both. You guys see that? We're going to go over that in a quick minute about how this contest is structured. Also, I forgot to do this, but in case you don't know me, my name is Megan Goff, and I'm super excited to be on the call with you guys tonight. But I wanted to introduce myself really quick if you're not sure what my name was. So sorry, I just remembered that. Okay, so one of the other things that I was thinking is we are in business for yourself. We are in business for ourselves, but we're not in business by ourselves, as seen in this call. There's 100 of us on right now, right? And because of our one plexus culture, we are on here to share ideas. And I was talking to Justin today when we were driving around in the car, and his 2 tips for conventions, for some sweeping convention prizes. He said 2 things: massive action and duplicate massive action. So that means yourself and your team. And I think if you're a red person, I think the tendency is want to do it all on our own and not have to ask anyone for help, to not enlist our team, right? Just do it all. But the way this contest is structured is very heavy on personal sponsorship, but it's also very heavy on developing silvers. And so those are 2 things that I would just say really quick, is to really have a focus, not just one eye on your personal sponsoring, but also an eye on developing silvers. Okay, so I'm actually going to, will it let me screen share? Oh yeah, it will. I'm going to share my screen really quick because I thought it would be helpful to, oops, if I can find it, go over the basics of the contest. There we go. Okay, can you all see that, hopefully? Okay, so this is the email that we got for convention contest. And I'm just going to go over really quick. So if you're one of those people that is a doer, that you put it into action, you kick it into gear as soon as there's something put out there by Plexus, right, for a contest or for an incentive or something like that. So if you're someone that hasn't really dove into the contest and what you need, I just wanted to do a brief highlight of a couple different things just so that we're all on the same page, because this contest is structured differently than last year. Last year was very heavy on customer enrollments and PV. And if you notice, those personally sponsored level 1s are the highest credits, coupled with developing silvers over here, which is 75 credits for one level 1 silver. So get those people to silver, right? Okay, so your personally sponsored, then down through level 5s, you get credits on your personal sponsored customers through 3 levels deep. And these are preferred or retail customers. And there's also a retention bonus credit, so that's cool. And then you do get PV credits, but it's not as high. You'd like to max your PV, which you want to max PV every month. It's 1,000 PV. So you really don't get extra credits for getting 2,000 or 2,500 PV like it was last year, which I like. I love that this convention contest mirrors our compensation plan. I think that's so smart because it helps us grow our business balanced, but it also helps us not be lopsided in terms of customers. Because I know a lot of people last year, in order to maximize their credits, they had to really sign tons of customers. So, and I know I lean more towards signing ambassadors than I do customers. So I just wanted to kind of breeze through that really quick. Also, personal rank advancements you get credits for. And if you rank up more than 1 time, so that's cool. There's a 2 and 3 multiplier. I thought that there's a re-rank advancement bonus too. So that's huge. So if you've fallen below your rank, you can re-achieve that and get credits for that. And then the slim down, there's also credits for signing up for the slim down and then completing the slim down. So that was kind of the gist of that. I wanted to share that. I don't know if you guys were like me, but I've been busy talking to my team about their goals, chatting through those with people, helping people get signed up, following up, reaching out, right? And so sometimes as busy, crazy people don't take time to necessarily read all the things. So I just wanted to go over that as a brief overview for the convention contest, just so that we're all on the same page. Okay, so I'm not going to talk the whole time. You guys are in for a treat because there are several girls on tonight that are planning to share what they are doing, what they have done in the past to sweep the convention prizes. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear from them. So actually, I think Angie is going to share first. Angie, if you're ready, you can go ahead and unmute and we will listen with eagerness to what you have to share with us.
Perfect. Hey guys, I'm Angie Ambrosetti, and currently I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador. I've been with Plexus for almost 4 years. So in April, it'll be 4 years for me. And I am so excited to share with you guys tonight. But more than that, I'm excited to hear from some of the people that are going to be sharing because I love to get new strategies and get a new plan down. I seriously am so red that I am one of those people, like Megan said, who tries to do everything from like that level one perspective. Everything that I have to do, that's kind of how I map it out in my head, but I'm not a write it down. I'm not one of those people who plans and strategizes. I tell my people this all the time. I run by the seat of my pants. That's just how I've always done things. But a lot of girls in my upline and my sidelines, they've helped me learn to strategize, learn to put things down on paper. And so last year in April, I was pushing towards convention, and I saw some people earning that top prize, and I was like, oh, I'm so competitive. And I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I work harder? Why did I let some time slip by? And a couple people said, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? And so I really started pushing, and I'll be honest with you. I just looked back at my calendar. It was on the Saturday, the last Saturday of April. There were 2 days. It must have been the 28th. There were 2 days of the convention contest left. I needed 15 new customers or ambassadors to get to that very tip top prize. And my sweet friend Lynn, she helped me. She gave me this cool idea. I hope I'm not stealing the idea that you're sharing tonight, Lynn, but she said, what you need to do is you need to get these little Post-it notes, and you need to stick them up, and you need to write down everyone that you're targeting. So I said, okay, here are my level ones that I need to get. Here are my customers that I need to get. And I numbered them, and I knew exactly what I had to have. And I talked to Megan's husband, Justin, because he's a personal friend of mine, on Saturday. I remember I was at an event. I was doing a vendor event. So here I am. I'm tied up until like 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And I was telling him, I'm like, I need 15 people. And I could tell by the tone of his voice, he was thinking, I'm not sure that's going to happen, sister. But I took Lynn's advice. I came home. I got my board that Lynn helped me figure out. This is my new one for this year. And I just started putting these up. I sent out hundreds and hundreds of messages just asking people, this is what I'm doing. This is how many people I need. Would you support me? And every time that I got a yes, I would just put that person's name down, and then I would just put a check mark in it. And visualizing that helped me so much. And then on my board that I had, I was able to highlight those numbers as I was getting closer and closer to the bottom. And I don't know about you, but I've never been a visual type. Like I said, I don't write things down, but it helped me so much. So whatever you think you're not, maybe you really are, because I felt the same. I'm like, I'm not. This isn't what I do. But when I started doing it, it started working. So by the time Leaders Retreat rolled around, I was like, there is no way that I'm not winning that top prize. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I started earlier. I didn't wait till the very end, which, like Megan said, one of the things last year is that the points were really high for PV, and we have a big family. So I was always able to, and I had a lot of customers, I was always able to get those high points. And when I saw for PV, so when I saw this new thing come out, I was like, oh shoot, you don't get all those high points. But what I had to do is I just had to go back to what my friends had shared with me. Get your Post-it notes out, get your board out, look at what you've got to do, break it down. So how I broke mine down this time, because we had those extra almost 2 weeks in December, I started on January 1st, and I took my 3,200 points and I deducted what I had already earned, because I was keeping track, because get it now, I'm starting to keep track of things, writing them down. I deducted what I had already earned just with ambassadors, and the slim down contest, because I joined that, right? Don't forget, join that. You get 50 points, finish it, you get another 100 points. So I deducted that. Then I took the 4 months that were remaining, divided that by 4, super simple math, right? figured out what I have to have every month. Then my husband was trying to help me break it down by weeks. I do better breaking it down by months. So I figured out that I need 672 points a month. And how am I going to accomplish that? Well, like I said, for me, it's all about my level ones. What can I do? So I know I can get the top PV, which, most of us can probably get that, even if we have just a couple customers. But then I broke it down to say I have to have 6 level ones every month. I have to get 6 level ones. So far, I have 3 this month. So I'm pretty excited about that. In December, my team added 42 people. So I'm kind of basing it off of that, thinking that December is not the greatest month of the year to add people anyways. And I was pretty excited with that many people in December. So looking at it, thinking if we just add 30 people for those months, we can, and what I'm adding, what my levels 2 through 5 will be adding, getting us level 1 silver and 2 level 2 silvers. I have it mapped out to where I'm only shy 2 points. And I know there's retention points in there. I know there's customer points. I didn't focus on any of those. So when you look at the chart that they have, the one that Megan showed us, you guys should all have that. There were 3 main areas that I focused on. There were our ambassadors, PV, and getting our people to silver. So I didn't even take into consideration customers or retention, because just for me in my mind, I think, wow, you don't really know about retention till the very end. So it's kind of hard to gauge that. And then customers, like I can only keep track of my own customers. So that's a little bit, that for me, that was just easier to leave that out and push myself in those other areas. So I have a couple of words that I'm going to share with you super fast, and then I'm totally done. But I have 3 hashtags that I'm focusing on, and I've got them posted in my office, and I'm going to keep reminding myself. 1, gazelle intensity. I have to work this business with gazelle intensity in every contest. Throughout the rest of the months, I don't always do it that way, but I have a goal to hit emerald before convention. So I have to have gazelle intensity. Number 2, I'm putting my blinders on. I'm not going to worry about what people say on the left or the right. I'm just going to keep focusing ahead. And number 3, hashtag so many lives have been changed. That's what I want to remind myself. And that's what I want you to remind yourself of too. When you're sharing with people and you feel like, people are saying, why is she always posting about that? Why is this? Just remember the lives that are changed through it. So I hope my rambling is a little bit encouraging to you guys, and I'm super looking forward to hearing from others that are sharing along the way. So thanks for asking me, guys.
Thank you so much, Angie. Okay, so gazelle intensity. So many lives have been changed, and these are hashtags.
Blinders on.
And blinders on. I love that. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Natasha, I believe, is Natasha on? I think she was going to share.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, take it away, Lily.
Well, first of all, I want to say what I love about this contest is that it is set up for you. So really quick backstory. I went Emerald in 11 months, like won Silver Star, Fast Start Gold. And I'm not a planner either, like Angie said. Like in college, I don't think I ever had a planner. I was like, tell me what to do, where to be, kind of thing. And I've always just loved on others. And going to events, I would get so discouraged because I'm like, why is everybody else winning these things and not me? So last Leaders Retreat, I literally from the beginning of the contest mapped out how many points I needed, how many people, etc. Got to the end and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get this $750 check. Well, I got the $750 check, and after a couple days, I was like, I'm just going to be happy with that because my points look so far off. Well, when I broke it down, I needed 29 people to earn the shopping spree. And so I looked at my husband and I said, I don't care if I sign 29 people myself, customers or ambassadors, I'm getting that shopping spree. And you all, when I was shooting for Emerald, he was like, a pink drink is not going to buy you a Lexus. So I always have this crazy husband that looks at me like I'm insane going for these goals. But I did it. So when I got the email that the contest started in December, within, I think, 8 or 9 days, I signed 10 ambassadors. I was like, it's on. So what I have done, I got my notebook out and I put the different points for each prize. I get to that prize, I check it off. At the bottom, it talks about the different ways to earn the points that Megan talked about earlier. So I'm visual. I need to know ahead of me what I need. This contest is geared for you. And what I mean by that is yes, there's diamonds that have these huge teams and their points are going to add up. But 20 points for a level 1 and 75 points for a silver, that is rewarding you to work your business. So I was like, okay, game on. So for me personally, I love my team and I'm getting points for them, but I am not relying on them. So no matter if you're silver, if you're senior ruby, no matter where you're at, you can earn these prizes. So I personally have mapped it out. Okay, so I have my little board. I have mapped it out that if I get, so I need 1,000 PV every month. My crazy goal is 50 level 1 ambassadors. But even if I get 30 level 1s, 15 silvers that are level 1s, 20 customers, and 50 level 2s, which you have to think, if you're getting your level 1s to silver, like if I get 15 level 1s to silver, that's already giving me like 30 people towards my level 2s. So what I have done and what I would advise you to do, well, and really quick, the leaders or the contest isn't live yet. So I am like keeping track. Every time I get an ambassador or customer, I add their points in. So I'm not leading blindly until we get that. Like, don't wait for that contest tracker to be live to see where you're at. But I set my goals up for what I needed to personally do every month to get that top prize. Because I love my team, but I don't want to count on them because I don't want to get to the end of the contest and be kicking myself because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get this many points for levels 3, 4s, and 5s, which I will get points for them, I hope, but I don't want to count on them. So for me personally, I did not count on my levels 3, 4, and 5. I broke it down to what I needed to do, how many level 1s, how many silvers, and how much PV I needed. And literally when I broke it down, I was thinking I need like 3 customers a month, 10 ambassadors. So what I would advise you to do, and you don't have to go for the top prize, like go for the other prizes and we'll know those in like 6 days. But figure out what prize you want and work backwards, like Angie was saying. Like if you want, what I did, I helped one of my girls break it down today for the 2,100 points. And I was like, if you get 6 level 1s, 3 new customers, and you help 10 people go silver over the 4 months and just get 500 PV, she would get her silver bonus, and I would hope she would be able to go gold in that span, that she could earn the 2,100 credit prize. And she was like, oh, that's so doable. So just figure out what you want, and especially when you know the prizes, set your eyes on that prize and figure out what you need to do to get that. And then the other points, the retention bonuses, your level 2 and 3, 4 customers, like those are going to add in. And one other thing, for me with the Leaders Retreat contest, I was so far off because I wasn't meeting my goals the first couple months. That is okay. Readjust at the beginning of each month and say you can either exceed your goals or you cannot meet them, and adjust what you need to do to make that up. That way you're not getting to the end of the contest and settling and then having that internal battle with, why didn't I just pick up the slack? So I would map it out from now till the end and figure out what you need depending on what prize you want. And for me, I need a visual to look at every day. So I have my whiteboard. I have my main goals I need every month. And then every time I get a customer, an ambassador, whatever, I change the numbers. So that is exciting to me. Like literally all day, I'm like wiping off my whiteboard and my 3 or 4-year-old is like, can I help? I'm like, no, don't touch that. But those are my tips. One other thing, your business, your future, your lives, like your legacies as you're leaving to your family are in your hands. So look at it that way with these contests. Like you don't have to have a massive team to earn these prizes, especially the way this contest is set up. Like 75 points for level 1 silver. I cried. I was like, okay, I can do this. So run with it and yeah, go for your goals.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Natasha. And I think I totally tracked with what you were saying, that this contest isn't necessarily gifting the people that have huge teams. It's gifting the people that are producing, the people that are in action and activity, because it is so heavily stacked in favor of our personally sponsored and getting people to silver. And really that's the crux of this business. It's simple. Sign up level ones and help them go silver. And I love that. I think I'm hearing a constant theme, a continuous theme of visual goals, because visualizing it and making little sticky tabs or putting it on a whiteboard or whatever helps us track, helps us keep our goals right in front of our eyes so that we can be laser focused, gazelle intensity, right, on hitting our goal. And I would say too that sometimes when I see people fail to hit their goal, a lot of times they either quit too early because they get discouraged 1 or 2 months in when they're not hitting their goals, or they start too late where they don't really pay attention till like month 3 and they're like, oh, I think I could get like a prize, or I think I could get a top prize, right? And so I would just encourage you guys to really keep your head in the game and not allow distractions or discouragement. And that's another thing that I'll just say really quick is get a partner, someone that can help you stay accountable and that can encourage you when you feel discouraged. Because I guarantee you, if you don't at some point feel like quitting or quitting on your goal at least, then maybe you're not human. Because I feel like anyone that has done a convention contest or worked towards a rank up, you're probably going to have some sort of discouragement hit. And so it's all about how we respond to those discouragements when they hit, and to keep moving forward, keep our focus, and to really encourage ourselves, when we feel discouraged or hit a tough spot in our journey to hit our goal. So, okay, now I think we're going to have Lynn. Where did Lynn go? I saw her just a minute ago. Lynn, if you're ready, you can unmute and go ahead and share with us what you are going to share. Oh, there's Lynn.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn Hauersile, and I am a Ruby ambassador. I am under Justin Goff. So I just wanted to talk about one thing that has not been mentioned yet, and that is the importance of keeping in tune to your back office, your virtual office, and knowing what's going on in your organization. That's, I think, one thing that was very helpful to me last convention, when I was tracking my points, my credits, and all of that. I was looking there, multiple times a day just to keep track of who did I have, how many level ones did I have that had 1 or 2 people. I still have a good number of those folks that, I really want to help get to silver. And I've been working on that. So I think knowing in your back office who you have that, already has 1 or 2 people, that would be a definite place to hone in on. The other thing, well, I'm just going to show you I took this off of my poster board that I had made. I'm a teacher. I taught kindergarten, 1st grade. I was a music teacher. This is the first year I'm not teaching. So I am so used to, bulletin boards and making things visual. So this was on my poster board, and I just used a highlighter, and as I earned credits, then I would just fill those in. The other thing when I look at this green chart is keeping in touch with your sponsor, or like Megan said, a friend, someone that you can continually be in the game with. So for me, that was Justin Goff. I think we talked every day during this time, we would be messaging each other. And it was just really helpful to have that accountability and that encouragement. So finding a person like that, I think, is really helpful. And the other thing, I myself had very quick growth in my journey. And then I've had kind of a little bit of a dip. So a different season that I'm in. And I would say my funnel is full, but I've been planting lots of seeds over the last few months. So I'm just really praying over my business. I think that's really important as well. And thinking of any possible way that you can reach the people that you want to reach. For me, I had to change some things up. And I started doing some more emailing. so emailing some friends and acquaintances that I have connections with, and it just felt like it was just a new way to connect with people. The other thing I wanted to say is if you were ever thinking you were going to offer an incentive, one idea that worked with when I was working toward this last year was, oftentimes we'll offer an incentive to a new person to have them join. So I want to encourage you to think about possibly offering an incentive to your team, your runners, your people that are trying to build a team. So it just seems like a little more smart, where you're rewarding the people that are helping other people join the organization. So that's just an idea. And I think, for me, what really helped me get to the end, I kind of had just this steady, it wasn't like I had a big rush of people. I have a wonderful team, so this is not all myself. I had a large customer base, so I had that high PV, but just keeping the enthusiasm and the excitement when you're talking to people. And I think maybe someone already mentioned that, but just really, being excited for people to join you. I think, without that, we can sound desperate, and then people are doubtful, if we're not excited about it. And what does that look like? It doesn't mean we have to be crazy. Like, I'm much more of a subdued person. I would call myself an introvert. But I think that excitement can come across in just the care and concern and compassion we show to other people. And that I think our passion comes through, for these products. Because they really do change people's lives. And so that's basically what I have. The last thing I wanted to say is, Megan mentioned about, creating the momentum with the action, massive action. And I think I might have heard this from Brooke Hemingway, but, just being all in the time that you have is really a key. So rather than thinking, I don't have all day to spend on Plexus. No, you shouldn't be doing that anyways. But the time that you're going to devote to it, then you're going to just be really focused on what you're doing. And what I've learned from Megan, which is something that's so helpful, is to really know the night before the next day what you're going to do that next day. It's so helpful rather than waking up and saying, okay, now what am I going to do today? So having that plan ahead of time, for me, it looks like this. So I just have a notebook with all of these people's names and lists and different colors. So you just have to find, what works for you. And I will just say one last thing before I pass it off. And that is, I am in my 19th month with Plexus. And in the beginning, so July of 2017 is when I began sharing. In that time, I reached out to a lot of people, as we do, and many of those people didn't join me, didn't respond to me, but I kept those folks on my list, and I have been offering and reconnecting with those people, and some of those people now are ready. So just never give up. And I know we've heard that, following up is so important. And so I hope that's encouraging, and I'm excited for this contest.
Lynn, do you mind sharing a little bit about your personal, daily IPA, what that looks like as someone that was a contest sweeper last year?
Okay. I am in the mode of sending 25 to 30 messages a day. So those are a combination of follow-ups and new people that I'm contacting and reaching out to. I have a lot of relationship building going on right now, so I'm continuing that. But between December 26th and the first of the year, I sent out a little over 100 messages, and these aren't just blasting the same message. So it does take me, a good portion of my IPA to send those messages. But I feel like if I'm not doing that, none of the other things really matter. We need to talk to people about Plexus. We need to connect with people. And I think, sometimes I see gals that might think I'll just wait for the people to come to me. So in this kind of situation, when we're pushing for a goal, we do need to really put ourselves out there and connect with a lot of people. And I think someone else might have said this already, but like your mindset needs to be in the right place. It can't be like, oh, I'm bothering people. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm a very kind and nice person. And I don't worry about that, because I feel like the people I'm connecting with know me, know my heart. And I just give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to accept that. So I'm doing those reaching outs. I also have a strength with one-on-one, and I've identified that, and I go for that. So if I can meet someone for coffee, I do. I think before the contest ended last year, I had like 50 coffee dates to our local coffee shop, which is called The Brew. So I excel when I can sit and look at someone and talk to them face to face. Now, some of my people are from my growing up Chicago area, and I'm in Iowa. So, obviously I can't meet those people for coffee, but if you can, I feel like it's just always really great if you can connect with people. I'm not so much of a vendor fair person, so I don't do a lot of that. But just Saturday, we had a nice gathering at one of my gals' homes. We just invited some of her neighbors, and we had some granola parfaits and a little pink drink and these little cups from the Dollar Tree. And she got a couple ambassadors and I think a customer. So I guess you would call that a sip and see. We didn't really call it that. We just said, hey, we'd love to share our stories with you. So the stories, I think, as we know, that's what really draws people in because they can connect to that and relate to it. But yeah, that's basically it, guys.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Do you know if that little tracker page is available in the back office yet?
I haven't seen it, but this year what I did for some of us on the team is I just made, and I'm happy to put this somewhere. This is on gray paper, so you can't really see it, but this is, and I haven't started filling it out. I've been keeping track in a notebook, but this has 3,200 credits. So I just kind of made my own new chart. So I'm happy to share that. I'll probably put a little graphic or something on it, but basically it's in, like this one was in 10 increments. So each row is 100. And I do the sticky notes. I have them, you can't see them, but in front of me here, what I need. And it's just very visual, and it just helps you keep track of those people, and then to really take care of those people too as you're bringing them in. You don't want to bring a bunch of people in and then leave them to detox on their own. So
exactly. Okay, fabulous. So thank you very much for sharing all of that. One of the things I saw in the comments is how long is this? Oops. We need to. I'm not sure.
Even like
someone's chitter. Anyways, one of the things that I think in terms of IPA, a lot of times the simple things is what gets us moving, right? And so I encourage my team to do the 5, 3, 2, 1, right? So reach out to 5, follow up with 3. But for going for a big contest like this, and if you are planning to be one of the top prize people, you need to be marching to the tune of what Lynn's talking about, like 30 messages, 30, connections and conversations with people. And someone was asking of what to say. So maybe you're very, very new on this call, but I just encourage you to go to your team page, your sponsor, and get some wording examples. We encourage people to not use scripts, but to make it something that would be genuine and heartfelt, exactly like if you were talking to someone in person. And so, I feel like sharing from your heart. I personally really like Brooke Hemingway's wording where she says, hey, you popped in my head the other day, and you may be 1,000% not interested, but I wanted to reach out to you because yada, 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 right? Plexus has been such a blessing to me, and I wanted to see if you would be open to hearing more about it. So just kind of an invitation to talk more. And when I get a no from a response or a no thank you, I always seek to turn that into a referral. So if they say no thank you, I'm like, hey, thank you so much for messaging me back. I hope you're having a great day. But I wanted to say, I know, this, maybe you don't feel like it's for you right now, but if you know of someone with XYZ, list them off, health issues, whatever. I would love to take referrals if you're open to sending some my way. And people are usually like, oh yeah, I'll send you. Or sometimes they say, oh, it helps with hormone problems, or it helps with gut problems. A lot of times people have in their brain that it's like some weight loss fad or some, whatever they have in their brain what it is, and not realizing it can apply, that plexus could be for them. So I just encourage you, if you get a no, don't be like me in the beginning when I was like, okay, no worries, and then move on. But ask for referrals, kind of dig into that conversation a little bit more. So
can I say something to piggyback off that real quick?
Of course.
I love that idea. And another thing I also do when someone does respond and say no thank you or no is, I thank them like you did. I thank them for responding, and I say, hey, you know what? It really means the world to me that you took a minute to read my message. This business is my livelihood. And honestly, just the fact that you responded is truly meaningful. And I understand the timing, it's not right for you right now, or it doesn't feel like a fit for you right now. But even just continuing to read my posts and continuing to send a like or a comment my way helps me get this message to people out there who need it. And you never know who out there needs it. So if that's something you'd be open to doing, it would mean the world to me. And I always try to turn it into a scenario where they are rooting for me, even if they're not ready to support or order or join yet. I try to turn it into a scenario where they feel good about rooting for me and where they feel appreciated. And then sure enough, down the road, because they're like, hey, I told her I would read her stuff. I told her I would throw a like her way every now and again. I have their attention. So I would encourage that as well. And then always ask a non-plexus question and continue the conversation on a relational level, and just reaffirm that you care about them as a friend too, and just keep it going on another subject. So
exactly, yeah, thank you for piping that in. That was really, really helpful. I did want to say something about the incentivizing. Lynn touched on that in light of looking where you're incentivizing. Because if you're chatting with people and they're open to making a decision to support their health, they're most likely going to join whether you give them an incentive or not. So it makes sense. It makes business sense to reward your workers. And I know maybe Lauren will share a little bit about this, or someone else, but I know from my team is incentivized by little gifty prizes. And so when I throw out, I know last year I did several different blitzes as the contest progressed. I don't think necessarily in the first month, but as things progressed, or as we went through a little dip and it was kind of quiet for a while in my business or whatever, I would just throw out like a little weekend incentive. Hey, whoever adds an ambassador, I'm going to do a prize drawing for these fun little, leather earrings or something to help them want to work for something, right? To follow up with that one more person and help them get started. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that you can offer little incentives to your team to get the ball rolling, to make it fun, make it exciting, things like that. Okay, Lauren Collinsworth is going to share next. You can go ahead and there you are.
Hey, am I on here? Can you see me? I can't even see myself.
I see you now. You're good.
All right, I can't even see myself at all, so I have no idea what I look like. So hopefully I look okay. So I am excited to share. I can talk. Pretty much, I do almost everything that they do exactly the same, and that's exactly what I was going to say on here. So I was trying to rack my brain of other things, and I was thinking, well, that shows you that what works, because that's what I'm going to do too. So my thing is visual too. So I am highly focusing on my level ones. These are all my level ones that want to go silver this month. And I'm highly focusing on them because, they're the people that I personally sponsored. So I want to love on them specifically. I do all kinds of different things for my level ones. So this is something that's practical that you can do that's duplicatable. I actually put my level ones in a group thread that are selling. So I individually ask them first so that I'm getting permission. Don't just add people to a message thread. Please don't do that. So I'll say to them, hey, Jane Doe, I have this level 1 thread that's specifically for people that I personally sponsored. Would you like to be in it? It's going to be for people that want to build the business. You can ask questions. I'm going to post incentives in there specifically for you. We can schedule calls together, just whatever, and so I put them in there. Some of my level ones are commenting right now. I see it popping up, but, so they love it because the thing is I have been more intentional about business hours, which I highly suggest you do. And what happens is if I am not there to answer however many 20 other women or men and women that can answer their question, so that will help you as you're going along. I know that's not specific to convention, but it's really, really, really beneficial, and it's duplicatable because then as they get their teams, they can have their selling level ones in a group thread that they can love on and that they can incentivize and do whatever they want with them. Okay, so someone was talking about the different points, so you can look them up. What the point levels are. It's 150, 400, 800, 1300, 2100, 2650, 3200, and then grand prize you have to have 4300 or above to get. So someone was asking about the different points of that so that you can have a what it is, and it's all in the convention contest sheet. Okay, so I also have a little point tracker thing too. So little you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. But so what I did was I am setting specific goals for myself as well. I'm like really ambitious this month. I'm like into it. So on here is 10 ambassadors and 10 customers. And yes, I haven't got any yet, but I am going to. I'm bound and determined. So this is one of the things that I'm really pouring into my team right now is we have 7-day trials. And let me tell you a little tip. So you know how new customers count as points for the convention contest, right? Well, what if you bought a bag of Slim and split it up so they're not ordering from your account, because then they wouldn't be a new customer? Does that make sense? Because if they bought a trial from your account and then went on to be a customer again, then they wouldn't be a $75 new customer. So what if you bought a bag of Slim from your account, split it up into 7-day trials, mailed them to people, and then you could put like a little, and something that I do, 3 HC Slims, 4 MA Slims. So then they've got options. You know what I mean? So then they can kind of try it, see how it is, see the taste, see if it's something they can do every day kind of thing. So then when they come back after the 7-day trial, then they're going to be your new customer with a bag of Slim or whatever it is that they want it to be. So, so I hope that is helpful. So that way that can be a new customer. That's your new customer. Not necessarily. Now get with your teams and do a 7-day trial together, you guys. It causes so much excitement and so much, and I'm checking in with my level ones. How many people do you have going on the 7-day trial? How many people do you have? Great, you got one. Okay, who else can get 7-day trials? Let's see who else. And then it's duplicatable down, and then we all do it together, and we do incentives on there. You could at the end of the 7-day trial, you could do an incentive for your team, a number off, or whatever you want it to be, and something or whatever. So you can do that for your team at the end of the 7-day trial. That way there's a influx of ambassador and joining and ordering. That's another good thing to do. And then another thing is you can make people customers this month and then upgrade them to ambassadors next month. You just double dipped. So that will help you with your convention points as well, because upgrades count this time. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I looked and it said upgrades count, which is awesome. And that's another thing. I went through all of my old customers and asked them and talked to them about upgrading and upgrade them, give them a little incentive and have them upgrade. If they are a consistent customer, you don't want a wishy-washy customer become your ambassador. You don't want that. But if they're a consistent every month, they always do it, say, you know what, you've been doing this forever. How about let me just give you this incentive. It's going to save you money. Let's upgrade you. That kind of thing, right? So hopefully that helps. I think that's good. Hopefully that helped.
Okay. Well, since I was just trying to type something really fast in the chat and then you were finished, so I'll just say it out loud. Be aware, like, if you have old customers or ambassadors who haven't ordered in a while, someone who has purchased in the past is statistically much more likely to repurchase because they have some initial belief built. And I want to reiterate this in case y'all don't know, that if they have not ordered in 6 months, they're eligible to be deleted and order like a brand new person. So don't miss out on those points. If somebody is an existing customer and ambassador and they have not had any charge go to their card, and that includes their renewal fee, but if they haven't had anything go to their card for 6 months, then they're eligible to be deleted, and your Jewel upline would need to do that for you. But if they're ready to reorder, make sure you're getting credit for them. And then the other thing I wanted to address before we jump off, 2 things. First of all, so sorry we forgot about the 100-person limit tonight. Totally slipped my mind. So Tamara is already planning to do a giveaway for those who watch the recording, and we're going to get that up as soon as possible. The second thing is I've seen a lot of people asking questions about how do I do this massive activity and all these reach outs and all these follow-ups without coming across like I'm just trying to win a prize or just trying to sell something? And then I've seen some other questions pop through the chat. I'm nervous about what to say. How do I address that? And so that's actually one of the goals of this group. We really wanted all of you to hear from those of us who try to put in a ton of effort during these contests, because that's important to each of us, and it's a big part of how we're able to have success reaching these top prizes, is not coming across like some sleazy salesman, and making sure that those conversations are authentic. So if that's part of why this group is here, and the people leading it throughout the month are planning to share some verbiage tips with you as they go live and as they post. But I want to pass along, I guess, a word of caution. And that is, I just want you to take it very seriously that when somebody shares a wording example with you, it's a big deal. And they're passing something along to you that honestly, they might rather keep private. I know for me, when I have a great wording example, I sort of don't love the idea that if I share it, it will then become this viral message that becomes the new copy-pasted script. Because I don't want people to get my message and feel like they're receiving a copy-pasted script. So you're being handed a treasure. If you see a post in this group this month that somebody says, here is a wording example that you're welcome to use. So I want you to consider that the gift that it is. And my biggest tip with that is use these wording examples as sound bites. Don't use it like a script. Do not copy and paste. So read through a wording example and go, hey, I like how that phrase sounds, or hey, I like how that opener sentence sounds, or hey, I like how she ended that. in a way that felt really authentic, and gather sound bites from these examples and compose little messages that feel true to you and feel authentic. Because like you said, Lynn, it doesn't matter. Almost nothing else we do matters if if we're starting conversations in a way that people can spot as copy paste, inauthentic. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I don't have the time. I don't have the time. But I'm serious. You don't have the time for anything else if you don't have the time to make the initial start of the conversation personal to the person that you're reaching out to. It's super important. And I know we talk about the book Go for No and how we need to detach from the outcome and not make it about me. If I get a no, okay. That's not a personal attack against me or a judgment against me. And that is so true. But go for yes. I mean, go for no, and that you're going for the numbers. You're going for 9 out of every 10 people is probably going to be a no, and that's totally okay. Just let that roll right off your back like duck, or like a water with a duck. But at the same time, like, don't be sending messages that you're assuming people are going to ignore and that you're assuming they're going to be turned off by. Like, we're going for response. You may not get a yes right away. That's pretty normal. The statistic is that 80-something% of people are not ready to say yes until they've had like 10 contacts with you. So be prepared for that. But I would encourage you to at least go for a response. So even if you get a no thank you, or even if you get a, yeah, I've thought about it, but I'm not really wanting to try it, that just means that you've opened the door and you've made yourself someone they don't have their shield up against. They're willing to engage you. They're willing to have a conversation. That's a win, because then you have the opportunity to build the relationship. You have the opportunity to ask them to continue to read your stuff. Like I said earlier, you have the opportunity to ask for referrals like Megan said. So you're going for opening the door. So be watching for wording examples all month on our page. And when you see them, treasure them, treat them as the gold that they are, and piece them together with sound bites to make something that sounds true to you. And always personalize anything you send out. And then you all know I'm big on voice message. I'm big on, call the person up. It doesn't have to be a written message. And I don't even like to use the word cold message, because in my brain, it does something. I feel like then I'm sending something cold, or I'm sending something that's going to be viewed as cold. So I call it all reaching out. These are reach outs. That's what I call them. And reach outs can be a voice message. They can be a conversation you strike up in person. They can be written. But the goal is for that to be personal. So, okay. Thank you everyone for sharing. I'm going to end the meeting now. We're right at an hour. Woohoo! So I'll end the meeting, and then I'll get the recording uploaded as soon as I can. And Tamara's going to get that posted for you all in the group. So Megan, is there anything else you wanted to add? Okay. Good night, friends. Thanks so much.